Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here to meet the co-founders of FixMeStick, Corey and Marty. They're contestants for the International Startup Festival coming up this July. Let's go check them out. Follow me. We're going upstairs to see what it's like, a day in the life of a startup. We're on the 4th floor. Let's go find their office. They're hidden away. We're almost there. Here we are. Stick it to the viruses. Hey, nice to see you, Marty.
Welcome to FixMeStick.
Hi, thanks. Hey, Corey. How's it going? I'm here at the offices of FixMeStick with Corey and Marty, the co-founders, and they're one of the startups that are competing for the International Startup Festival Grand Prize. Hey, Corey and Marty. How's it going?
Hi, Kristina. Pleased to have you here.
Thanks for having us here, too. And so FixMeStick, tell us about it.
So FixMeStick is a very simple virus removal product for the non-technical consumer. So all the non-technical consumer has to do is pop this thing into their PC, in File Explorer, navigate to the drive, double-click Run FixMeStick, and that's it. The FixMeStick will configure the machine to reboot from this stick. So there's a little Linux operating system on this stick. And it'll run a scan of your PC from this operating system while Windows is not running, and that means viruses can't hide. Viruses can't defend themselves, and the FixMeStick, we think, is the best solution on the market for the non-technical consumer to take viruses off their PC.
So we gave it a shot. It's really easy to try. Is there any competition out there?
The competition, there is competition out there. So for non-technical consumers, the real competition is Geek Squad and the Corner Computer Shop. So the non-technical consumer doesn't tend to research virus solutions online and look to download different solutions. They tend to go to the Corner Computer Shop or to a technical friend, and they'll pay $150 to $200 to fix their PC. So we think this is a good alternative for the non-technical consumer because the cost is $50 for the stick and a year of service on up to 3 PCs. And then the user can renew after that year for $24.99 for another year to cover another 3 PCs.
It's a great idea. What inspired this in the first place?
Me and Marty have been working together in antivirus for years, since 1999 at a company called Radial Point before. And so we saw firsthand how hard it was to remove viruses from an infected machine. Okay, so current solutions out there like McAfee and Symantec are okay at protection. So they're the lock on the door. They're okay at preventing viruses from getting into the machine. But they're not perfect, and viruses often do get through. And they're not great at removing things from the PC once they're there. And so FixMeStick is that second layer of defense. It's that thing you run, pop it in once a week and run it to clean out anything that's slipped through and restore your machine to a fast, malware-free machine. So
you say target market is the non-technical consumer?
It's really the non-technical consumer. We've had some pretty interesting we've done quite a bit of press since our launch on May 9th, and we were able to find some pretty interesting things. So we had some great coverage, a great article online on the Globe and Mail, and we're thinking that would drive a lot of sales. And then Marty also did a radio interview in Calgary for 3 minutes, and sales were driven more than 10x from this 3-minute spot on the radio compared to the Globe and Mail online edition. And so our users are really non-technical. They tend to be older, baby boomer or beyond baby boomer or their parents, and they tend to not be the people that are checking for things online.
Well, it's no wonder that you've been chosen for one of the companies for the International Startup Festival. Now, why did you decide to participate?
On that one, Marty actually noticed that applications were coming up the day before they were due. And so he said, "Hey, do you think we should apply?" And we thought it'd be some good exposure. I went to the conference last year and thought it was great. Lots of really smart people there, and so we thought might as well apply. The cost to apply was very low. It wasn't a very onerous application, and so threw in the application and then heard back a few weeks later, and we're really pumped to be picked.
And what do you expect out of the whole festival experience?
We're going to meet a lot of people. We've kind of been introverted in the Montreal startup scene since we started, which was just over a year ago. And that's primarily because we're bootstrapped and we weren't looking for financing. And so we were really focusing on getting the product out there. Now that it's out there, we want to network more and really look for distribution opportunities. So we're hoping to meet some people who might be able to make some connections and help out on distribution at the Startup Fest.
Excellent. And is there anything up on the horizon for FixMeStick? Is there any changes or stuff we need to know?
We're working on a lot of distribution deals right now and trying to test in different markets, because we don't know how it's going to sell. Is someone going to go into a Best Buy and pick this off the shelf, or does someone want to be pitched it on a TV ad? We're not sure, and so we're trying to do tests in lots of different markets, low-cost tests, see what happens, and then ramp up the spending after that. We have tens of deals early on in the funnel for distribution.
Well, it looks like exciting times, so wish you a lot of luck for Startup Festival, and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here with one of the companies of International Startup Festival. It's the co-founder of StoryPanda, Pavel Baines. Hi, Pavel. How's it going?
Pretty good, Kristina. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So tell us about StoryPanda.
StoryPanda is a kids media company that we put together to bring families together through collaborative play and storytelling. What we're trying to do is build scalable tech and creative IP across multiple digital platforms. And the first thing that we're doing is creating the best tablet reading experience for young families.
So what inspired this great idea?
What happened was we come from the video game background, myself, and we grew up playing video games. Then we started making video games. And then basically we had kids and we decided we couldn't make these games where people are just going off shooting everybody now. And so seeing how our kids were interacting from the Nintendo DS, and then all of a sudden when they picked up the iPhone, iPad, and seeing how they're working, we're like, okay, this is a game changer. We got to start making something for these kids on this device. And another thing that we realized was that growing up, I don't know if you were the same, but when I grew up, my parents had no idea of technology. I was on the computer downstairs playing Nintendo. My dad was just trying to figure out how to work a VCR. This is really the first time that you've had, the parent, child, and grandparent all the same device know how to use that device, which is really the iPad.
And is there any competition for what you're doing?
There's a bunch of people trying to come out and be like, hey, they're going to want to be the new leader in this kid space. That's really our goal. When it comes to tablet reading, there's a couple. So our first product is StoryPanda Books. And what most people do are either PDF converting books to PDFs or highly interactive books. What we're doing is different from everybody else, where it's a platform where users, parent and a child, are going to go on there and do three functions. Read a book, create a book, and then they share that same book amongst their entire friends and family on the StoryPanda network. So, so what I was going to say was that what we're really trying to do with StoryPanda Books is create a number of magic moments for the family. So when a parent and child first read that book, which comes to life with, sounds and animations, that's a magic moment. When a parent and child sit there and create a book based on what they just read, where the daughter puts her name in there and dad's name in there, and they finish it, that's another magic moment for the family. Third would be when they share that book out, and let's say the grandfather opens up StoryPanda Books on his iPad, sees a message that, hey, your granddaughter Judy book with you that she wants to share. He opens it up, and it's called Grandpa and Judy Visit the Dinosaur Zoo. For him, It's a magic moment that he just experienced, and that's what we want to do with StoryPanda Books.
It really is a beautiful idea. I'm thinking you must be able to get some funding. Has there been any challenges in that area, or are you well on your way?
No, we're going well. We're part of 500 startups now, which really helped out, brought us to another level. We had funded it ourselves, myself and my co-founder, to the beta release. And now we're raising our advisory round of $300,000, got more than half of it done. And what's happening, everybody's becoming really big on the space because myself, yourself, we all grew up with tech. And all these guys who worked in investments now have children and seeing where their kids are going. So family technology is the new space that they want to place their bets in.
It's wonderful to see the evolution over time. And you're going to be coming to Montreal for the International Startup Festival. So what got you going for it?
For International Startup Festival? Another company in 500 startups, High Score House, Kyle Seaman, we're good friends with them. He's from Montreal. He told us about it. We looked up International Startup Festival and we said, you know what, we got to be part of this. It's in Canada. It's promoting ourselves, it's promoting the industry and bringing everybody from around the world. And visiting Montreal is always a great time. So we were really to go for it. And, we're really happy we got selected.
Well, it was a phenomenal event last year. I'm sure it's going to be just as exciting, if not better, this year. And what do you expect from the Startup Festival?
What we want to do is just go out there. Once again, we just like talk to people, letting them know of our idea, getting feedback. So, presenting, having everybody hear about it, and, make good contacts in the industry. And if some, great investors out there, they see what we're up to, and hopefully it leads to another chat and something they want to follow up with us.
Excellent. So where do people find StoryPanda?
The website, storypanda.com, or go to iTunes and just type in StoryPanda, and StoryPanda books will pop up, and they can just download and start playing with it on the iPad right away.
Terrific. We'll be checking it out, and we'll see you in Montreal. Looking forward to it. Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here with Gil Friedlander from Israel. He's out in Tel Aviv with one of his co-founders of Tawkon. Hi, Gil. How's it going?
Hi, good morning. We're well.
So, how's everything over there? How's the startup going?
It's an interesting time now. Very busy always, but we're enjoying ourselves as we're working pretty hard and looking forward to coming to Montreal in less than a month.
Excellent. So what is the startup community like in Tel Aviv?
Oh, it's very, very vibrant. Actually, I think every second guy on the street has its own startup or works in a startup. So there's a lot of startups in Israel. I'm working in a complex here where there's 20 startups on one floor. So it's a great community, a lot of entrepreneurship spirit, and it's a great place to start a company.
Now, you've actually studied in Montreal a little while back, and so and you are a Canadian, born in Toronto, and you're living out there in Israel. What can we learn from the Israeli startup market, and perhaps what can we teach as well? Is there any exchange that could happen?
It's probably not a 2-minute answer, but I think there's a few things that could help. One is the educational system, which is more supporting and focusing on entrepreneurship and taking the risk, and failing is not an issue, is not a social issue, which is important. The other thing that Israel has a very good infrastructure for seed funding that is provided by the government to allow companies in their first steps to get their idea from slideware to an actual product. This is very helpful.
And so it's gotten you onto Tawkon. So tell us a little bit about Tawkon.
Okay, so Tawkon is a startup I founded 3 years ago. The idea of Tawkon is to empower people to use their mobile phones in a much more responsible way without reducing usage. And our initial solution is an application you download to your phone, and it monitors the level of radiation that your phone emits. If we detect during a call that you are exposed to high level of radiation, we will provide you some alert and suggestion tailored to you to how to continue your call and reduce your exposure to mobile radiation.
Well, we're looking forward to meeting you in person, so we'll see you in Montreal in July. Thanks, Gil.
Perfect.